Did you guys know that smoking kills an average of 7 million people each and every year? It is the world's most deadliest killer, and it makes me wonder how this deadly plant became so popular. But first, did you know without tobacco, America and even the world would not be the same without the cultivation, production, and trade of tobacco in the past? It is one of the most infamous and influential industries in history. The tobacco plant is very old. It dates all the way back to 6000 BC and was first used by humans by 1 BC. When Christopher Columbus essentially discovered the tobacco plant in the early 1600s within Native America, he quickly found that it was very important to the Native Americans. They used it for religious ceremonies where tobacco was the main source of communication between spirits and humans. And they also used it medicinally to dress wounds and as a painkiller. Even to this day, Native Americans and Native Alaskan tribes still cultivate and use tobacco for medicinal and religious reasons, and this is a very big part of their culture. Shortly after discovery in North America, it was being sent back to Europe for trade and recreation. It was believed to be a cure-all medicine, curing everything from cancer to bad breath, which I think is pretty funny because today we know that it actually causes bad breath and cancer. It was so popular in the 1600s, it was often used as a currency. It was literally as good as gold. Now I will discuss the transition between tobacco and how it made such a big transition from being like a medicine and a religious ceremony item to one of the biggest cash crops in the world. In the mid-1700s, tobacco processing companies were founded and production began on a very large scale. It was such a sought-after product, it even served as collateral for loans to fund the Revolutionary War. And later on in the mid-1800s, most of the tobacco brands we know today were established and cigarettes started to become popular. Within half a century, more than 3.5 billion cigarettes were being sold. This is the time when tobacco started to become an addiction epidemic. Tobacco companies used shady marketing and distribution tactics to get people hooked on cigarettes. World War I was one of the kickstarters to this massive addiction, as almost all of the soldiers smoked during this era. Then World War II came around, and cigarette companies shipped millions of cigarettes to the soldiers and were even included in the supplies soldiers were given when they got deployed. Then when these soldiers came back from war, they were addicted and the tobacco companies had a steady stream of income as a result. Finally, by the late 1900s, all of the negative effects of smoking were realized. In 1985, tobacco use was the #1 reason women got cancer. It even surpassed breast cancer, and in the past century, over 100 million people have died from tobacco products, and it kills almost half of its users annually. From religious practice to cultural importance to medicine and to a hazardous addiction, tobacco has had an extensive past and influenced many societies throughout the world. In the past 400 plus years, it is not solely a product that kills people, it has had many positive outcomes from an industrial and cultural aspect. It is my hope that what I have discussed today will bring about a deeper knowledge or understanding of tobacco and the importance it played in the development of our world. Thank you.